Hi there, I'm Pete Cater, and once again it's my pleasure to be here at Drumtech in London, and I'm going to be sharing with you some examples to accompany my column in issue 67 of Drummer magazine. Now, if you've been following the series of articles, you'll know that we started off with some very, very simple quarter note ideas in the left hand of the bass drum set against our jazz ride cymbal. Then we started breaking the lines up a little bit and using groups of 2/8 notes and improvising not only the rhythmic placement but also the sound sources that we were using to do that. And what we're going to do today is we're just going to take the logical next step from that and add a third 8th note to our left hand pattern. So it's going to sound like this. We're going to start taking the tempo up a little bit now, because after all this time we should be getting a pretty solid foundation. So let's do it at a medium tempo at about 160 beats per minute. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just hark back for a moment now to something that we did in issue 65. Let's just look at the left hand. And we talked then about how important it is to stay relaxed. We don't want to be choking the stick when we make contact with the drum head. Don't bury it in the drum. I'm not squeezing the stick, it's just sitting in my hand. And I'm using a combination of forearm, wrist and fingers and really watching the dynamic level. So we're going to do the same thing we did last time. We're going to move our 3-note figure to the next point in the bar, which will come out sounding like this. So just like last time, we can move that pattern through the bar. Let's improvise with it a little now and do the same as we did with our 2-note pattern and just put it anywhere rhythmically and assign it to the left hand and the bass drum ad lib. Now, obviously, you know what's going to happen next. We're going to start adding a 4th 8th note in the left hand, 5th 8th note, which will give us things to sound like this. See, once you start mixing up the groups of 2, 3, 4, 5, as well as individual 8th notes, you'll hear the kind of things that you'll hear jazz drummers do all the time. It's really important to incorporate some element of improvisation when you're practicing this stuff. Because you think about it, when you're on the bandstand with other musicians and it's time to play some music, you're not going to be sitting there playing repeated like drum studies, okay? You're not going to be playing like independent exercises. You've got to be able to access this material readily. And for that reason, I think it's important that we as drummers incorporate this element of improvisation into our practice routines, because that's the context in which you're going to actually end up using this material when you come to do it on a gig. You're not going to be sitting there on the stage with like a drum tutor book on a music stand while the band's playing. I hope you're not anyway. So make sure that your practice sessions when you're working this material, or indeed a lot of other stuff, has a context that relates directly to the way in which it's going to be used in a musical setting. One other thing, of course, with this is that you can start putting these patterns into other subdivisions. 3-note pattern works particularly well in triplet subdivisions. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. like that pattern where we've got the bass drum on the third note of the triplet, which is this. 1, 2, 3. I always think of the legendary Roy Haynes whenever I hear jazz drummers using that pattern. That's one of his classic signature ideas that you'll hear on many of his great recordings going back down the decades. Now, over these 3 sessions, we've used a lot of material based upon ride cymbal and variations and the left hand and bass drum comping variations. And if you look back at it carefully, you'll see that there's many, many ways in which this can be reapplied. You'll notice that the column doesn't consist of lots and lots and lots of written exercises. What it does do is give you some keys that you can use to hopefully unlock your own creativity and use this material in an interesting musical and, most importantly, an individual way that works well for you as a player. So I'm going to be seeing you again here at Drumtech in a few months' time, and from me, Pete Cater, practice hard, and I hope to see you out there on the drum scene, and if you're ever at a gig or anything, come by and say hello. I look forward to seeing you soon.